The new Boost Mobile network is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for life.
That sounds like a threat.
Then how do you think we should say it?
Unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for the rest of your life?
I don't know.
Until your ultimate demise.
What if we just say forever?
Okay.
$25 a month, forever.
Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile forever.
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Hi, I'm Raj Punjabi from HuffPost.
And I'm Noah Michelson, also from HuffPost.
And we're the hosts of Am I Doing It Wrong? A new podcast that explores the all-too-human anxieties we have about trying to get our lives right.
Each week on the podcast, Raj and I pick a new topic that we want to understand better and bring a guest expert on to talk us through how to get it right.
And we're talking like legit, credible experts. Doctors, PhDs, all-around superheroes.
From HuffPost and Acast Studios, check out Am I Doing It Wrong? Wherever you get your podcasts.
Changing Times, the Allenwood Conversations.
Sponsored by the Meadowlands Hotel, Tralee.
Steve Earle had come to Galway. I'd known him already because he had come to see me in Nashville. Anyway, he came to live in Galway. She was really, really good friends with Steve, and she happens to be the lady.
Oh, the Galway girl.
The lady that the
Galway
she's the Galway
right.
girl.
Have you ever noticed, Mary, you know, the way music, the role music plays in our lives, really? Coming down here, for example, it's a long old journey, and I have the radio on the car, I have the CDs, I'm listening to Spotify, and it takes over everything. Mm-hmm. You're entering different worlds with every song. It's just a magical thing. We're so lucky to have music in our lives.
I agree. I think it's really part of our DNA. And I suppose as Irish people, just music is everywhere. And there's so many good musicians all around the country. And a piece of music can mark a moment, tell a story, transform, say, an ordinary day when you have nothing on the schedule and you're pottering around at home. It just can transform it into something extraordinary. It can be uplifting. It can be comforting, healing.
Yeah. It can all, it can bring you into nostalgia. It can all sorts of things. It's just, I think what I love about music is the way it bridges cultures too. It's a great introduction to other cultures. You can be in a room with people whose language you don't understand. They don't understand yours, but boy, do they understand the music. Mm-hmm. Cross generations. I love that fact that music can cut right across. Not that I can confess to knowing an awful lot about the music of the younger generation, but it does cross generations. And the great thing about music is how it speaks a language that we don't ourselves have the language to articulate. It gets into the space that only music can put into sort of virtual words, I suppose. Yeah,
into your heart and into your soul. And what's very inspiring, I think, about musicians and their talent is their ability to take something like an emotion, a feeling, and turn it into something that we can feel, that we can hear, and that we can share. And then there are those rare musicians who don't just play music, they live the music, they breathe it. The music is part of them. They are synonymous with music, and they make it feel like it belongs to all of us.
And that brings us to today's remarkable guest. She is a phenomenal artist, a true artist. She's been enchanting audiences right across the globe and, of course, here at home with a very, very distinctive sound, an unbelievable talent. Sharon, you're so welcome. You're a legend. The smiling lady who can make that buskakiol sing and dance.
Yes.
I dance around my kitchen to you. I use you as my alarm clock when my kids are staying with me. They've known this for donkey's years. If I want to get them out of bed, I blast you and Steve Earle and Galway Girl full tilt at them. And you can't stay in bed. You can't stay in bed while that music's playing. So we're absolutely delighted to welcome you here to Allenwood. Thanks for coming.
Great to have you here. So we go back to the beginning. Mary and Mary, the M&Ms. We go back to the beginning. Now, Clare is a county that's really well known for its traditional music. So when you were growing up on a farm, was there music all around you? Was there music in the house? Your mum and dad, your siblings?
Well, my parents, before we ever started playing, my mother and father were absolutely mad for music. Anytime any traditional music came on the radio, the radio was turned up, and they'd be dancing around the house, and they showed us how to do the old-time waltz and the Caledonian set and loads of stuff like that.
Really?
So we were able to do all that kind of stuff before we started playing. And then I think I was probably about 8, and my brother Gary, who was the oldest one of us, Gary's the oldest, and then I have an older sister, Magella, and I have a younger sister, Mary. So Gary went to music lessons in Corrafin, the local village. He was probably about 11 or something like that, and tin whistle lessons, and he taught the rest of us the tin whistles at home.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You must have picked it up quick.
We did, yeah.
You had the ear.
And well, it involves a lot of practice as well. So it's not just like people sometimes say to you hear people saying, "Aren't you so lucky? You're so talented." But
it makes it work.
It's a gift and everything. But a gift is no good to you unless you actually have to put in the
you have to overlay it, don't you, with the work?
Yeah, you do.
It's not just with music; it's with anything. Isn't it?
And is it true that she used to, on occasion, when you weren't playing the tin whistle, you had sword fights with the tin whistles?
Oh, we did. We used them for a lot of different things.
Thank God the music won out in the end.
There you go.
How did you come to pursue music as a career then? Well, you were born and reared on a farm, weren't you?
I was, yeah.
And had you any other ambitions growing up? Did you see yourself being a farmer or a local doctor, a local teacher, a local whatever?
I never had a clue what I wanted to do when I was growing up. And you know, when you were in school, when you're in going to national school and secondary school, and people are asking you, what are you going to do when you grow up? I never knew what I wanted. I used to just make up something. I hadn't a clue. And but I hated school. As long as I wasn't in school, I would have been happy. I'd just work in the local grocery shop or something. Anything but be in school, I would have been happy with. And but there was my mother was very determined that we get a really decent education and get proper jobs. And
but you were playing music.
I was playing music the whole time.
From a very early time.
Yeah. I was doing gigs from age 14.
Imagine.
Really, yeah.
And were they all at home, or did you go abroad?
Well, the first time I was in America, I was 14.
Wow.
What were you doing there?
My sister Mary was 12. We were playing. We were touring. Yeah.
Where? Whereabouts? What were you doing?
Boston and New York. And
no way.
14?
Yeah.
And did your mum go with you?
But somebody must have spotted you to invite you.
Well, the whole family, not my parents, no, but Gary, Magella, Mary and myself, we were part of a band in County Clare called Dysart Tola.
Okay.
And we made an album. It was put together by an amazing man from Cahercalla in Ennis called Garrod O'Halloran. And he put together this band that he wanted to go touring with and go off to America and England and all these different places, do festivals, European festivals and everything. And he put together a band of all amazing young musicians from County Clare and some from Dublin as well, because he was living in Dublin at the time. He was 26 and the rest of us were all... Well, Mary and myself were the youngest now. The rest of them were older teenagers.
You must have had a blast.
But we were, for us, all the other musicians that he picked for this band, they were all our heroes.
Yeah.
Hero musicians in County Clare, and we were really honoured to
at that point,
asked to join this band. And
at that point, Sharon, when you were, playing with this band and touring and being in places like Boston and New York, is that when you said, I'm going to make a career of this?
Oh, I didn't have a clue, because
did you not still
at that stage either, because we weren't making money. It was only a bit of cracking, and it was only a side interest really for Garrod, because he was he's a real academic, and I think we were very lucky that our parents trusted Garrod so much, but they loved Garrod because he was an academic, and that's what they wanted for us.
And what are your memories of that trip?
The first time we went to America, I think we went from Shannon, and we were on the big jumbo jet. It was my first time on an aeroplane.
Wow. And
between the jigs and the reels, I don't know what happened. There was some mistake, and we got put up the spiral stairs, up into the top of the plane.
Yes. No way.
So we had it all to ourselves up there. And I thought this was normal.
Yes, you were in for a rude awakening the next time you booked
So we
on
had
a
this
company
really-
flight that will remain nameless.
It was amazing, yeah. We did this really luxurious trip across the ocean, but I was too inexperienced with travelling to appreciate how amazing it was at the time. I was never on the top of a plane since. On the way back from America, we were in the normal.
Yes. It came to a sudden end then, didn't it?
Yeah, but you're saying what was it about when we arrived at JFK? The heat. Just as soon as we walked out, and I could feel this amazing heat. I'll never forget the feeling of it. And looking at all the yellow taxis as well. Carol, the singer and piano player in the band, was after learning The Streets of New York, you know, that gorgeous song.
Yes.
And there's a mention of the big yellow taxis. And there was an awful lot of stuff in the song that I was just going, oh yeah, the big yellow taxis.
And they're nearly gone now from New York, the big yellow taxis. They're nearly gone. It's all Uber and free
That's
now.
right.
And I was there before Christmas, and we were just remarking on that. How you'd be hard put to see a yellow taxi there now.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
that's a big change of culture, isn't it?
Big change.
You mentioned Garrod there, a big influence on you. Who else would have been in those early years, who was the big inspiration in your life?
Musically, definitely Tommy Peoples.
Of course.
Amazing Donegal fiddle player. He was living in a place called Toonagh, Toonagh, which is a village probably only about 4 miles from where we're from.
Oh, the luck of that.
Yeah, and he was living down there. He'd been living down there for years and years. He married...
He married a woman from there, that's right.
Marie.
Yeah, Marie.
The daughter of Kitty Linnane, the famous
right.
pianist with the Kilfenora Cayley band.
That's right.
Yeah. And so Tommy was living in in Toonagh. And unfortunately, we didn't go to school in Toonagh. We went to school in Corofin, and I had 1 year in Rowan as well. We went over to do a band practice with a different band again. It was the Toonagh Cayley band that we played in as well. And I was so fascinated and really delighted to see there was all these tunes on the blackboard all over the walls and everything. And every single student in the school played either fiddle or banjo or tin whistle. Every single one. And like in Corofin, our Rowan school, we were the only family, one of the only families really that played.
Because we think of Clare as just bands and, you know, musicians and sessions.
Yeah, we were the only ones really.
Fair play to you for achieving such success.
Yeah. Tell me the song, you see, that as I mentioned, I use as my alarm clock, which is You and Steve Earle and Galway Girl. How did that happen?
That ended up in my 4th or 5th album. So I had done loads of albums up to then, and they were all just instrumental. No songs. And Steve Earle had come to Galway. I'd known him already because he had come to see me in Nashville. And
he was full of praise, wasn't he, for the music that you were making?
He loved Irish music.
He did. Oh, well, no, Sharon, he loved your Irish music.
The Pogues had done some Steve Earle songs and vice versa as well. And so I suppose he just knew Irish music. I don't know whether it was through the Pogues or whether he knew it anyway and was familiar with it and loved it. So anyway, he came to live in Galway. I won't say he was there full time, but he spent an awful lot of time in Galway, right in Dominic Street, there opposite the Roisin Dove. We became great friends because we had all the same friends because
same circle
of friends going into the same sessions. So he wrote that song and invited my sister Mary and myself and Liz and Yvonne Kane, 2 fiddlers from Letterfrack, to play on it, and Joyce Redmond, who is from Howth, a lovely, really lovely person and a great singer and bodhrán player, who was really, really good friends with Steve. And she happens to be the lady,
the Galway girl?
The lady that the Galway girl.
Right.
And she's from Howth in Dublin.
Oh, gosh.
What's her name again?
Joyce Redmond.
Joyce Redmond.
Yeah, hello, Joyce, if you're listening.
That's a little snippet for us.
The Galway girl was.
Yeah, I'm revealing all your secrets, Joyce.
Great
They
song.
were really
Beautiful
great
song.
buddies, the 2 of them. They were like thick as thieves. And always together and full of mischief. And
the song is so full of
energy.
It's a wonderful song. It's a great narrative. There's a great bounce to it, and then the arrangement, the actual musical arrangement is just stunning. That was you.
Yeah, Joyce was playing on it as well. Yeah, she's playing the bodhrán. But I know it wasn't just me. It was all of us just, horsing in together at it. But one thing about that song, I think a lot of people, when they listen to the lyrics of it, there are little things in that song that a lot of people won't understand. Unless you're from Galway.
On the old long walk.
On the old long walk. There's a place, you probably know this now, but a lot of people outside of Galway mightn't know that there's a little place in Galway called the Long Walk. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. I took a stroll on the old long walk. If you didn't know that the old long walk is a place, and of a day, and all this. She took me up to her flat downtown. I suppose.
Flat.
The Americans.
Most people wouldn't know what a flat was.
There's a load of bits and pieces in that song that he just used the local.
It shows his respect for the local, the parlance. Yeah. You mentioned there your fourth album, but going back to your first one, which was 1991. I was just called Shannon. That had huge sales, didn't it? The biggest selling traditional music record at that time, and for a long time afterwards. Probably still, is it?
Well, they say that. I don't know if it's true or not. Yeah, they call it the biggest selling traditional album of all time. Whether it is or not, I don't know. But yeah, there was great success. And two of the tracks of that got chosen for the Woman's Heart.
Yes. Oh yes, that's
album as well. But like you said, they wouldn't have been chosen for the Woman's Heart album. I was going to say first, it's probably because of the Woman's Heart. But it's not, because the reason they got chosen for the Woman's Heart was because it was a good selling album anyway. But I think it was massively because of the Waterboys, because I'd been playing with the Waterboys before that.
The Waterboys,
they're very, very loyal fans, the Waterboys fans.
Gorgeous lovely people as well.
The lads, the Waterboys, oh my God, absolute gentlemen, lovely people. I had a lovely time. So my 21st birthday was my first day rehearsing with the Waterboys. So it was the day of my 21st birthday. So
and how long did that amalgamate, that collaboration last?
A year and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, but we went everywhere, like doing these amazing gigs. And
well, you've travelled all over the place with them.
Yeah, all huge big gigs. They were massive at the time. So yeah, it was really, really fascinating.
Where did you get to? Where was the best place you got to with them?
I think Spain and Portugal, the gigs in Spain and Portugal were really memorable. They were...
and with the big audiences there.
Massive, yeah. Amazing altogether, incredible audiences.
What kind of a welcome
really
did they give you?
Amazing. It was like Beatlemania. Everyone.
Would it turn your head?
Yeah, I was just observing. I didn't really feel this mania was for me. I was going, this is for the lads. This is great, And
I mean, you really took the world of traditional music by storm. So at that point, then, did you say, well, yeah, maybe I will make a career of this? Because remember you were saying you couldn't make up your mind, didn't know what you wanted to do when you grew up.
I was already playing music for a living at that stage.
Yeah, but you felt, wow. Did you? I mean, dreams coming true, Sharon.
When I did the Leaving Cert, actually, my 17th birthday was the first day of the Leaving Cert. And when I finished the Leaving Cert, then I went on, I had another tour, a Coltis tour in America.
Oh, nice.
What I didn't know was I was looking forward to coming home and to the dogs and the horses and the ponies. But what I didn't know or realise was that my mother had done all the application for the CAO form and all that to go to college.
So that you would work in a bank and a good safe job for the rest of your life.
To college. Come to think of it, I did know about it. Come to think of it, I did know about it, but I just put it out of my head. When I was away in America, and I was just looking forward to coming home. But when I arrived in Shannon, my brother Gary was there to meet me, and he brought me down to Cork for my first day in college. And I was after missing a month of college, so it was heartbreaking.
And what were you supposed to be studying in college?
Irish and German.
All right.
Great.
Yeah.
How long did you spend?
Just a year.
Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to be a good girl, and I sat up at the front of the lectures and everything for the first couple of weeks or couple of months, and I had absolutely zero interest in any of this stuff.
Oh, sure, the call of the road must have been, and the sessions must have been strong. Yeah.
I absolutely no interest, and I was going, this is such a waste of time. And Jackie Daly, an amazing accordion player, during that summer, he was after giving me a present of a beautiful old fiddle that he had bought in an antique shop. He knew I was trying to learn the fiddle, and I didn't have a decent fiddle, so he gave me this lovely fiddle. So I said, when I was down in Cork, and I was going, this is total waste of time. I stopped going to the lectures, and I played the fiddle. No exaggerating, 8 hours every day for the full.
Wow.
You know, college term.
Good investment of your time.
Just waste of time going to this.
What was your mum and dad's attitude to that?
Well, they didn't know I was doing that.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And I was going to sessions and everything. I've made some really good friends down in Cork. And then, of course, I hadn't a clue about the exams. I had no intention of trying to... even make an attempt to try and pass them or anything. I was going, I just don't want to be here. I want to give it up. And but when the results came out, I was at the Willie Clancy week, down in Milltown, Malbay, and the results came out, and my mother was really sorry for me. You failed, as if I was expecting any different. But she was determined that I'd go back and repeat the year.
Oh no.
And
how did that figure out?
And I said, can we talk about this after, we'll have a good chat about it when I come
after Willie Clancy.
when the Willie Clancy week is over. And then we had a good heart-to-heart. She was really disappointed, absolutely devastated, because she really wanted, all this stuff for her kids. And
Sharon,
my sister Magella was starting a secretarial course in Limerick the following like the September or October of that year. And I knew at that stage that I could just be gigging. Because I had been doing loads of gigs and making a decent living, and playing in Doolin and places like that. So we made a compromise, and I said, I'll do this thing with Magella, which I did, and it was down in Limerick.
And you did?
Yeah. I didn't like that either, but I did it. Yeah.
But Sharon, did your mother
just to keep my mother happy? Yeah.
Did your mother kind of come around when she saw the success that you were having? Because
she did, Mary.
So many.
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
she delighted them.
She never stopped worrying.
I know.
Never stop work.
But there's no salary.
Our parents are like that.
Yeah, there's no salary, monthly salary in what you do, is there?
No, there isn't.
No. And you've had your ups and downs in that way, like financially too.
Yeah.
And, thinking back to the time, when the markets went whump and the Lehman Brothers and all that. And you lost your house during that time, your beautiful home.
Yeah.
That was an awful change in your life on top of everything else.
Well, it was a gorgeous... I had moved out of town, out of Galway, and I was living in this cottage out the country, and I loved the cottage. I really, really liked it. But I was thinking, oh, God, I really messed up. I shouldn't have sold the house in town, because I'm a real social person. And I'd made loads of lovely new good friends out the country as well, but I just felt the spontaneity of being social was all really different when you're living in the country. I just love being in the city and being able to just go out whenever I want, and if there's no crack around, just go back home or whatever. And so I'm not answering your question yet. So I was living in this house, and I was going to sell it, and my manager John persuaded me to hold on to it, and so he bought half ownership of the house with me, and we used it as a recording studio. And that's where we did loads and loads of recording with all these amazing, collaborations that we did over the years.
Name some of the people you collaborated with. You're phenomenal people.
Yeah. The Steve Earle one had been done already. John Prine had been spending a lot of time in Galway too.
Lovely.
And we were great friends. So I can't think of half of them.
Didn't you have Bono?
They're all stellar.
Willie Nelson, Sinead O'Connor, over the years. Anyone who stood out?
Yeah, well, most of the people that I ever collaborated with, I was friends with already.
Anyway.
Yeah. I'd be nervous about collaborating with some superstar that I had never met. You'd kind of, I don't really want to meet my heroes.
The heroes.
Because I feel a bit, I get nervous in company of really famous people or whatever. I kind of don't feel comfortable, and I want to just go off into the other room where there's a bit of normal crack happening.
How did you meet Leo? The love of your life.
Yeah, we met in the Roisin Dubh, the pub.
In the pub in Galway?
Yeah.
And were you playing that night that you first met him?
Well, he didn't know my music at all, or because he had no interest in Irish music, and before we met, he had been living in England for years. And so he had no interest in
where was he from originally?
Whatsoever, from Galway.
He's a Galway man.
Yeah.
He was a Galway man. God rest him.
Yeah. We met in the pub, but I had noticed him before we ever met.
Oh, nice. Well, I saw a photograph of him with you, Sharon, and he was a very handsome man.
Oh, gorgeous man.
My goodness. Gorgeous. Like, as far as I was concerned,
that's why you noticed him.
Way out of my league as far as I was concerned. I just thought he was the most handsome looking human being I'd ever seen, like more handsome than any film star or superstar. As far as I was concerned, he was way out of my league. And he had this beautiful smile, and for some reason, we started, before we ever met, we started saluting one another. I was going, oh, there's that gorgeous fella again. And if I passed by him, I'd kind of... and he started saying hello to me too as well.
Yeah.
And so we never stopped talking. We never got talking to one another. Because I suppose we were both a bit shy. We didn't know what to be saying to one another. And then one night, there was a session in the Roisin Dubh, in the front of the Roisin Dubh. He walked past us and flashed the big smile at me. And at night time in the Roisin Dubh after the session, I used to always just go home, because the Roisin Dubh got very... On a Saturday night would be very busy. That evening, and I'd had a few drinks, so I had a little bit of Dutch courage. I thought to myself, that gorgeous fella's gone in there. I'm going to look for him.
That was your trap.
You went to look for him?
Yeah.
You did?
I went around the whole of the Roisin Dubh, and people were dancing and watching the band, and I just looked in every nook and cranny, and I couldn't see him. And then I said, feck that, I'm going home, or I'm going to the Crane, or wherever. And there he was. And was going, oh, hello, he said, and I said hello to him as well, and that was the start.
That was it.
Yeah. And so he put his arms around me and said, sit down, please, sit down.
And how long were you together, Sharon?
Way too short.
I know.
7.5 years.
And then he died tragically.
Yeah, he had a very sudden heart attack.
Awful.
Yeah.
How old was
he was only 46.
46. Yeah. I remember that so well, and the heartbreak of it. The heartbreak of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No preparation whatsoever.
None. No. Yeah. I was on my way to Cork for a gig.
The crater.
Yeah.
That's a shock.
Yeah.
And were you living in a house that was your home, your joint home?
Yes.
Yeah. Was that the house then that you had to give up subsequently?
No,
that wasn't the one.
No, that's the one that we did. This lovely house up in Salt Hill. We did it up together, and he was brilliant with his hands. He was, his trade was a panel beater, fixing cars. He was a genius at it. But he was great at anything to do with his hands. He was very artistic, so brilliant at any kind of carpentry work as well. And so we did the house up together, and he was amazing.
Changing Times, the Allenwood Conversations.
Sponsored by the Meadowlands Hotel, Tralee.
Hi, I'm Raj Punjabi from HuffPost.
And I'm Noah Michelson, also from HuffPost.
And we're the hosts of Am I Doing It Wrong?, a new podcast that explores the all-too-human anxieties we have about trying to get our lives right.
Each week on the podcast, Raj and I pick a new topic that we want to understand better and bring a guest expert on to talk us through how to get it right.
And we're talking like legit, credible experts. Doctors, PhDs, all-around superheroes.
From HuffPost and Acast Studios, check out Am I Doing It Wrong? Wherever you get your podcasts.
Professionals spend nearly half the work week on written communication, so focus is important. With Grammarly as your AI writing partner, focus and quickly get through work with relevant real-time suggestions. And it works across 500,000 apps and websites, so you can sound more confident and persuasive wherever you write. 93% of professionals report that Grammarly helps them get more work done. Download Grammarly for free at grammarly.com/podcast. That's grammarly.com/podcast.
So that's the house that I live in now.
You're living there yet?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you didn't have to walk away from those memories.
No. Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Sharon, when Leo died, how did you cope with the loss?
My friends were amazing. They completely rallied around me for a long, long time. And my family, absolutely, my parents were there immediately, and all the rest of the family, and Leo's family, amazing. Mm-hmm. All his, his family and their friends as well. And
was music a help?
Oh, there was music non-stop in the house for, believe it or not, 3 weeks.
Like a 3-week wake?
Yeah. Seamus Begley. It was just amazing. Like, it was a really sad time, but it was an amazing time as well. It's very hard to describe. It's very hard to...
Did Seamus come up from Dingle?
Seamus was there for a full week.
For a full week?
Yeah,
Lord.
he stayed a full week in the house. He was amazing. Like, the sessions... It would go into the night, of course, like till 3, 4, 5 in the morning or whatever. And then at breakfast, you'd hear... The Bound Begley would be playing again down. He'd be having his breakfast, but he'd have the accordion in his. So I'd come down and I'd hear him, and he'd have a song for everything that you'd be talking about and everything. And sure, once Begley has the accordion on his lap, of course, and there was loads of stragglers around because we were playing so much music. Loads of people end up staying in the house, in the couch, or in the different couches and all over
cathartic,
the house.
I'd say.
And it was nearly non-stop for 3 weeks.
Did that carry you through?
It kind of just filtered out bit by bit in the end, in the last, going into the 4th week. It was an unbelievable help. Unbelievable. And when I'd go to bed as well, I couldn't sleep. I would just listen to more music. And I liked to listen to uplifting music as well. I have loads of playlists. I still have them that I made at the time that were just all really uplifting stuff.
Got you through.
Yeah.
It's a bit like what we were saying, Mary, at the beginning of the programme about, music in all sorts of situations.
Every
the healing, the
situation.
comfort.
Joys, miseries, life, death, birth, marriage.
That's a good example of it, Sharon.
Yeah. No, I suppose
there is therapy in it. There is therapy in it.
Mary, yeah. But I suppose the friendship as well, having all the friends around was amazing. But if they weren't there, the music itself, like I said, when I'd go to bed, I was listening to music in bed as well, and the first thing in the morning, I'd have the music on as well. Oh God, that reminds me. Just saying, how do you cope? How did you cope? One of the worst things that I remember from the time, and it would happen with any tragedy, I suppose. When you go to sleep, you get peace, a bit of peace from it, or you're in your nice dream or whatever. But every time, the first few seconds when you wake up in the morning, you've forgotten.
Yeah, and there it is again.
And then the shock of it hits you all over again. And so that was awful. But I know I'm not the only person that has to.
But you had to do it anyway. You had to.
Yeah.
It's part of your story.
You had to face into it during the day until you got back to your sleep again. You have completely redefined. You've completely reimagined Irish traditional music, and with some kind of special magic dust, you've done that while staying utterly true to its roots. How, in the name of goodness, do you do that?
Oh, thanks for saying that, Mary. Thanks for saying that. Well, can I just say to you that an awful lot of people, the likes of Donal Lunny and all these amazing musicians have done amazing stuff for Irish music long before, I ever did any of my albums, and all that amazing music from the 70s and 80s. That stuff that was done with Irish music back then by all these amazing people. was a huge influence for me.
Would you have taken a lead from that?
I wasn't the first one to do it, but I know when you say...
you're dealing with traditional music, which people can be quite precious about, because it is tradition, it is rooted. But you take it and you add to it, you redefine it, you reimagine it, you push out its boundaries. Where does the courage come and the imagination come to do that?
Right. I remember now what you said that I was thankful for at the start, which was that you always stay true.
You stay true. That's it. Like, we recognise it. We know the truth of it.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because some people, when I'm being interviewed, they're going, "Oh, how do you feel about what people say that you're not being true to the music, and if you do this, that, and the other thing with it?" And then I have to try and explain that the music is really, really important to me. The actual. Traditional music itself, and the new tunes that I would be writing would be in the style of the traditional music, and I wouldn't be any good at writing something that's not in that style. Anyway, do you know what I mean? So it's so ultra important to me to be true to the actual roots of the music, and the music that I love so much, and that I it's the music that I understand most and feel most comfortable with, and
you grew up with,
and most confident with as well, playing. And like you said, the music I grew up with, that I love.
I certainly know that's what I recognise in it. I mean, you've been your music has been my companion for many, many, many years.
Thank you so much,
many
Mary.
years, and often when I'm asked, about my favourite music, and my friends will tell you, there's a bunch of us go away every year together from old university friends. We stay in a wee cottage in Donegal, and the first thing they hear every morning is you and Steve Earle and Galway Girl, my kids, and then we morph into Blackbird, and I drag them out of bed and I make them dance round the kitchen table.
I said the tone for the day, Mary.
It's only going to last 4 minutes, folks, and you're going to feel so good when it's over. You're going to feel so good. And they all do it now. Yeah. Everybody, that we all do it now. But to play that and to know that has roots in hundreds of years of Irish traditional music.
Yeah. I would be hoping that the music, the new people that are new to Irish music, that would be new to Irish music just because of hearing my music or whatever, that if they like it enough, that they would be listening to an interview like this maybe, and that they would go and check out Noel Hill and Tony Linnane or Seamus Bigley, and the kind of music that influenced me so hugely.
Sharon, you accompany Mary when she's in her car, and when she's in her kitchen, and when she's in Donegal with her girlfriends. But you've also performed for her when she was president, and you've performed for Bill Clinton and Mary Robinson and Lech Wałęsa. Those are really kind of pinch yourself moments, are they?
Yes, amazing.
What was it like?
Yeah.
Fun.
Go on.
Except for one thing.
What?
That whenever if we would go abroad, on state visits and have wonderful performers with us, the sessions started when I went to bed.
Because
you missed out on that now.
Get the president out of the road and off to bed. And I was like, get Mummy to bed. Yeah. And now they all repair to the bar, and the next day you'd be hearing the great stories about the great night you had, and you could just feel so resentful.
But it must have been a huge honour all the same to be doing the formal performance.
And I remember watching you on the telly doing the debate. I loved you, and I was so delighted to be doing this, and really honoured to be asked.
There you go.
To be able to showcase you to anybody and tell you we're charmed.
Thank you so much.
We're a very lucky, blessed people. We really are. Tell me about Shane McGowan. He's another one who we lost, of course.
Around 2007, started working with Shane, and I think the collaboration came about because I didn't really know him. Apparently, Shane hadn't done any gigging for a good few years before that, and I had been doing gigs with a big band. So it was Martin's idea, Martin Nolan, as far as I remember, saying, what about getting Shane to do some guest spots? Which is so we did. We had Shane, but we also had on the road with us Damien Dempsey and Mundy, and
what a gang!
Yeah,
that was
Daisy
good crack.
O'Halloran
Desi. Yeah.
And
Curtain
Shane,
in the kitchen.
Desi.
Desi.
Shane was delighted to meet Desi because Desi had spent years living in London, and Desi was a legend in London.
Of course.
Traditional singer. Desi was known as like the All-Ireland champion Shannon singer. But Shane was over the moon to meet Desi.
Was he?
Yeah. So we had an amazing time touring. Eleanor did loads of gigs with us as well.
Eleanor Shanley,
singing Fairy Tune of New York with Shane. And we had the Galway girl Joyce. It was amazing. And we did some English gigs as well, but most of it was in Ireland. Mm-hmm. We loved him so much, and he was...
what was he like to work with?
Oh, God, a bit unpredictable now. Or he could be late. He could be very late sometimes. But very late for the very first rehearsal. He didn't turn up till nearly everyone was gone. We'd waited for about 4 hours for him. But during the touring, Joey came with him, Joey Cashman and Brendan, the driver, and it was up to them to get him. So they would arrive. I think they must have told him that the gig was 6 to 12 hours earlier than he was expecting it to be. So
and he delivered.
Yeah, always delivered. Amazing. Yeah.
Wonderful for the audience.
Yeah, he was so... The one time that we were playing at a festival and we kept having to extend our set list to make it longer and longer and longer and add up loads of tunes because Shane
wasn't there yet.
He wasn't there. And eventually, oh my God, he's here. And the Brendan's bus pulled in just at the side of the stage. Shane kind of fell out of the bus and he had a plastic bag around his head. We didn't know why he had a plastic bag around his head, but I think maybe him and Joey might have had a row or something. And Joey Cashman, will you please...
explain the plastic bag.
Tell us what happened with the plastic bag. Because anyway, but we thought, it must be part of the act or something. And trying to get him up the steps. Poor Shane was saying, I can't see. So then they realised, okay, the plastic bag... That's not meant to be there.
Wonderful the way music has been so much a part of your life, really from the very start. But so is your advocacy for animal welfare. It really is very much a part of you as well, isn't it?
Well, I was brought up in a farm, as you know. It used to upset me that the dogs weren't allowed and cats. The cats used to be allowed in, all right, for a while, and then at night time they'd have to go out. The cold, but they were all right. They had the hay shed and everything. But as far as I was concerned, they should be living in the house like the family members. So I spent, especially in the summer, I used to spend most of my time outside with the animals, with the dogs and cats and the horses and the sheep and the cows, and I just loved them all. For me, it's not just the companion animals, but that's what they call them, like that you have for pets. Mm-hmm. I love all animals equally.
How many animals have you got living with you right now?
Well, not as many as I used to. I tried to keep the amount of dogs that I would have at the house over the years. I tried to keep it below 8.
Below 8?
Yeah, but
are we talking about dogs that are in the house now?
Living in the house.
Yeah. And how many cats?
Really, really serious amount of work. 7 cats.
Right.
Yeah, I had about 14 cats at one stage. It's like a mini sanctuary.
Yes.
And you've always been involved with the animal welfare organisation Madra, haven't you?
I have, yeah. The 2 founders of it, Marina Fiddler and Tara Nick
Yermida,
yeah. 2 amazing ladies. They asked me to be the official Madra patron or whatever.
Ambassador for them.
Ambassador, very fancy
sounds
word.
good. Yeah.
Of course, I was delighted to oblige.
And Sharon, is the veganism? You're a vegan, a real champion of veganism.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's not just companion animals that I love, and all animals, I suppose, because I'm interested in all animals, like wild animals and you name it, any animal or bird will be really, really beautiful and affectionate. If they get,
my daughter is vegan, and she said to me last night when I was telling her that we were going to be talking to you today that you have a vegan food truck that goes to festivals and gigs and everything, and she thinks that's wonderful.
That's great. Yeah.
You don't often get fed as a vegan.
It's not mine anymore. But Damo, a fella called Damo has it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he still brings it around.
She's thrilled.
We did a load of experimenting and picked all our favourite ones. Mm-hmm. So you can veganise all your favourite dishes, like if you like shepherd's pie or lasagna, or you can do vegan.
There's great options
stew.
now.
You can do vegan versions of all your favourite food, really. Yeah. I don't like most of these fake meats and stuff. I don't really like them at all. And I hate the fact that some people, when they taste, I think they're just disgusting, most of them. And I hate the fact that it gives vegan food a bad name when people taste it. They go, oh my gosh. All of you, everyone eats vegan food every day. Like your Christmas dinner is full of vegan food. If you take out the turkey and ham, everything else is vegan. Yeah. My favourite part of the Christmas dinner, the Brussels sprouts and all the
roast potatoes.
That's what vegans are put on this planet for, to eat the Brussels sprouts that nobody else will eat.
Sprouts. I love them.
Do you hate them?
Not fun. I can eat them all right, but I wouldn't go out of my way now. I would keep them for the Christmas dinner, and when it's over...
And what way do you cook them?
Well, in our house, you boil everything to death.
Oh, right, that's why... 20 minutes and your Brussels sprouts will be yummy. Steam them.
My other daughter is coming up from Limerick to stay with me tomorrow night, and she asked me, Mum, will you go out and get some Brussels sprouts for the dinner?
No way, go away.
Loves them. Absolutely loves them.
As well. Yeah.
Go back to the music industry for a while. You come through... COVID was a disastrous time, really, for anybody in that business. Have things improved? Are you facing other challenges now, from all these various ways of delivering music?
Everything seems to just go back to normal after COVID. Everything just reverted totally back to normal since COVID, yeah. And I have to say, during COVID, I loved the time off, but I love being at home. I'm a real home bird. I love being at home.
What's on your agenda for the future then? What are you looking forward to up ahead?
Just being at home more as often. I love being at home. And like I said, all the working on the house and, doing stuff in the house. I just love it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a real home person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sharon, there's a question that we ask everybody who comes in, because the title is Changing Times.
Okay.
And you've been through some changes, we have as well. Is there anything that you can think of that you would like to change, be it for yourself or for the whole community, the world, the country?
Well, if it was the whole world and if I had the power, I would begin saying, will you stop all this terrible fighting and killing one another?
Yeah. And what about yourself?
For myself?
What would you change for yourself?
I'd love to, I don't know, this might sound a bit materialistic. Just win the lotto or something and be out at home for the rest of my life. I love home so much. Yeah. So that would be my goal, I suppose, to, be able to...
To be self-sufficient financially.
Yeah.
So now it's time for us to leave the little village of Allenwood for another week. We might as well just move in because we're here so often at this stage. And thanks as always to Enda for his work on the series.
Also, thanks to our ever-diligent researcher in the background, Anne-Marie Staunton, and a huge thank you to our sponsor, the Meadowlands Hotel in Tralee. Please do subscribe, comment, and maybe give a rating to Changing Times wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't forget to tell a friend about us. Join us the next time as we sit around and chat with another absolutely wonderful, fascinating guest.
And until then, from all of us here in Allenwood, in County Kildare, Slánagh. Changing Times, the Allenwood Conversations.
Sponsored by the Meadowlands Hotel, Tralee.
To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text. The long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile.
Forever!
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever.
Hi, I'm Raj Punjabi from HuffPost.
And I'm Noah Michelson, also from HuffPost.
And we're the hosts of Am I Doing It Wrong?, a new podcast that explores the all-too-human anxieties we have about trying to get our lives right.
Each week on the podcast, Raj and I pick a new topic that we want to understand better and bring a guest expert on to talk us through how to get it right.
And we're talking like legit, credible experts. Doctors, PhDs, all-around superheroes.
From HuffPost and Acast Studios, check out Am I Doing It Wrong? Wherever you get your podcasts.